What is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. Wanted to do a pre-recorded video for you guys to kind of give you guys an update on what I've been looking at the charts. Just a few things. We're into 2025, which in the 4-year cycle is the main year where, the majority of money is made, especially for those big, potentially life-changing gains in altcoins, unless, you bought Peppy or something kind of esoteric over, since the bottom in 2022, you probably haven't had a crazy gain for altcoins. I mean, Solana, okay, yeah, but, Bitcoin did outperform the majority of them, including Ethereum, including pretty much, other than Solana, pretty much most of the ones that I had, Gemini or AI, give me the list here for kind of the potential returns back in 21 in the 4-year cycle 4 years ago. So let's just see, what happened last time, just looking at the returns. If you bought today, and then you sold on December 31st of this year. So this is if you bought January 1st to 21 and sold at December 31st to 21. So comparing that year to potentially using that year to potentially predict what could happen this year is important to look at, I think. Bitcoin, 60%. Still a damn good gain, probably 3x of what the S&P 500 did, but compared to crypto, really, really terrible compared to the rest of things. For Ethereum, and I think these numbers are pretty accurate. Ethereum 400%, a lot better. That's 400%. I mean, that's a pretty big gain. Solana over 100x. It's 110x, I believe, right there. Pretty insane. Cardano, nothing compared to Solana right there. So if you put all your money in Cardano, you would outperform ETH, you would outperform Bitcoin, but Solana, nothing. Doge, nothing compared to Solana even. Well, a lot more in Cardano. Polkadot, that was very measly. That was a very small gain. That was a very lackluster situation there. AVAX was a lot. Matic was, the king of all of these, really. That went crazy. But, it kind of shows you, my main view for alts is just diversification, and follow that for your cycle, especially holding them throughout this year, 2025, because if you can see anything like what we saw over here, I mean, the average gain of all of these, what's the average return of all of those coins you listed in 2021? Let's see if that will, I think it should be able to give us that quickly. I just want to see the average return. I'm showing you diversification. So, 40x. For all the listed, 40x essentially. So that's diversification. If you just put into ETH, that's 400%. 400% is a lot less than a 40x. So 38x, I mean, that's, if you put in 50 grand, you only need 20x if you put in 25 grand, 40x would be $1 million, I believe. I'm just saying what, 50K times 20 is $1 million. You would have needed, a little over half of that. 25, 30K could be life-changing money with a diversified portfolio of alts. I think that's the main point I just want to make right here. Moving on to things before we even look at the charts. Well, I guess this is a chart. Kind of a new addition, Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Interesting place, 49%. So there's enough fear to continue forward, I think. Here's your top earlier this year, second top once you get into the extreme greedy area. This was kind of your bottom in 21, or excuse me, January 24, right around the same area. I think right around the same exact area at 48, 49. So maybe we hit support here and jump off. That would be kind of your bullish case for Bitcoin right here. If we do, repeat history, it's a little weird because when you look back, you saw a January pullback for Bitcoin both in 2021 and both in 2017 as well, 30% pullback. So if you're looking at that, trajectory, I get, and it's different because this pullback started in January, so it's a little weird. But if you're looking at that, you would be looking at, your low numbers. They would be probably, I don't really see going much below, 72 there. That would be kind of your real low numbers. I think if you kind of lose, 72, 70K, that's the time you actually have a reason to be scared, but we'll see what happens. But on the bright side, I do kind of think what could happen. We've been coiling up. It's been boring. Things are starting to look a little bit better on your middle time frames, trigger waves right here. I think you could see a jump up to 98. If you break above that, your next cycle target's at 105. If you break above that, your next area is going to be around 120. And then if you look at kind of what happened in the 4-year cycle, I don't have the exact, let's just go to, I think I mapped it out on others a little bit. Yeah, let me show you guys. So you had, this was essentially, I'll just summarize it, 28% correction for others, everything outside the top 10 for crypto market cap. And Bitcoin kind of followed these trajectories as well in that area. And then 31% in January. So December was 28, and then you had 31%. You pumped a lot before that. So if we do something similar to that, it's not impossible to come up to really get a rally over the next 10 days or so. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we've been coiling up. We're going to break up at some point, get a real rally up to 120, and then plot twist everybody. There's your 30% correction, and then you really, you just destroy both sides in this, and the exchanges and the big money, the more wealth comes to the people that already have the money, the whales and all that, generally through this. The whales lose money too, but that could be that possibility. Then your 80K, and altcoins will most likely outperform Bitcoin throughout this. I would see Ethereum continuing to kind of outperform Bitcoin through this, just based on what happened last time. You had that bottom right there, and right there, end of December was your bottom, kind of similar to what we're seeing, right here, making a higher low. It was a little earlier this time, but that jump up, and then throughout that pullback, you still continue to outperform Bitcoin. You had some hiccups in March, but then you went crazy upward there. So I think you can outperform, Bitcoin in that way. And I think, short term, we got it. It's looking a little bit better short term. The thing I want to show you as well, you're getting that trigger wave on the 2-day. When's the last time you saw something similar to that? Okay, that one it took time to play out, but that did bring you up a lot. I mean, it doesn't happen too often. That's kind of helps our bullish case here, that trigger wave on the 2-day. I mean, some of these you could consider somewhat trigger waves. I mean, that was in the bear market. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like 21, if we were looking at trigger waves in 21, okay. Yeah, bad example. This was kind of a, it came up and then you dump down, but it doesn't happen too often. There, I mean, if you compare it to that, you could be looking at a 26, 25, 30% jump up from these lows, which would be a 30% jump up would be, what was that? Ooh, I can't even, damn it. Can't even get that. 30% around 120, which was what I was talking about. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. I think we got some potential short-term upside here. Ethereum, very similar thing. Trigger waves forming, money flows coming up. Things are looking better, and I think we're inevitably going to get some more trading volume coming. So Bitcoin drops down to 80K. Let's say the bearish case happens, 80K, 70K, what have you. Next, the huge place on, I would say 80K. If Bitcoin hits 80K, Ethereum's probably going to hit 2,800. If Bitcoin hits 70, probably 2,400. I don't see you really going below these points. You're kind of, breaking the 4-year cycle, and you have a reason to be fearful if you do lose 2,400. I don't think that's going to happen. And then, plain red dot, green dot there. It doesn't really tell us much. Some of these time frames just very indicative of low trading volume, but I think you can jump up to 34 and then eventually break above that, hit 37. And then in the 4-year cycle here, when ETH made, a new all-time high, where was it here? I believe it was, right around early February. So that would be a really good January if you were to repeat that, and potentially, into January, maybe Bitcoin hits 120. I'm just estimating here. Bitcoin hits 120. Maybe this could really jump up. You'd be surprised. I mean, 49. Then you come back down to this, a lot of volatility, and then continuing forward. I feel like ETH may hold up and maybe a little bit different. It's hard to say. It kind of depends there. But I would be more bullish to jump up to 4,800 here, just based on history, based on what I'm seeing in the charts at the moment. I like that 4-day as well. Moving on to S&P 500, I mean, obviously, it generally follows S&P 500. You're trying to make a higher low here, too, which is pretty good. You do have the blood diamond, but I mean, you guys know. I mean, usually the S&P 500, those are bottom signals. I mean, right there, bottom signal. It's like the last time we had a blood diamond. I mean, most of these are somewhat of bottom signals, played out, and then, that was in 2015. So we shall see. We shall see, but that definitely could be somewhat of a bottom signal right there, jumping out, continuing forward for S&P 500. Solana, another big one, hitting a big point, trying to jump off of that trigger wave forming on the 4-hour. This could be a potential, and I do have a Bitcoin long that I just entered. Not a crazy size of a position, but it is a trade in Discord. Very low risk, high reward potential on Solana right here. You only need to win 1 out of 3 of these type of risk reward ratios to be profitable. And by the way, guys, if you guys are interested in trading, check out BloFin and BidFi down below. So BidFi is doing a really good promo right now. As always, with the if you sign up to BidFi and BloFin, my links down below, you get 10% off your fees for life, only with my link. And if you trade a certain amount, there's no deposit minimum, I don't think, but if you trade these trading volumes like 20 million, you get an $800 withdrawable bonus. Usually they don't give withdrawable bonuses, so this is really good, and you could potentially buy these useless things. I'm just kidding. buy these things with the money, or do what you want with it, I guess. It ends on January 27th. Check it out, link down below. No KYC, no VPN for BitFi and BloFin as well. BloFin, similar bonus. There is a minimum deposit for the futures bonus. I think this is only a trading futures bonus, so it's a little bit different, but it's still a pretty good bonus, I think. So check those out. And as always, guys, if you sign up to any of my links down below for the exchanges, Bybit, BitFi, and BloFin down below, deposit at least $100 and open a support ticket in the Discord with your UID. I'll give you 1 free month in the Aldo Empire VIP Discord. I have a feeling we're gonna have a lot of really good trades in there in the coming months. So yeah. And so that was Solana. I think you got a good shot of moving up. I mean, a lot of these obviously follow one another. Cardano looks like it's really trying to jump up. Cardano has been, I think that you got a good shot here for, Cardano to come back up to $1 here relatively soon. If you could break above there, really, there's no stopping from, $1.18, then eventually getting up to, $2.20. Now, potential highs for Cardano, I mean, my max for this would probably be like $7 to $8. A huge point would be at, 500% upward. I'm just comparing this to, what we had. Where was Cardano? It was, 2021. So 650% upward. I mean, I guess you could argue diminished returns would be 500 still. It still is a diminished return. A real diminished return would be only 220. And in the same situation would be up to $6 or $7, maybe even outperforming that. It is possible. There's been some good fundamentals with Cardano as of recently. I know a lot of people don't like it. I mean, a lot of drama on Twitter about it. That's our culture. But, it's whatever. Diversification. I mean, like I showed you earlier, that you would have done the best with diversification among alts in 2021. You would have made, theoretically, a 30x as opposed to maybe just a 5 or 6x. So it is big there. Chainlink, potentially jumping off of this big point. I think that's a pretty big point there. I think you got a good shot of jumping upward, maybe back to $28. I think Chainlink's going to do, pretty well as well. I forgot to do the, yearly 2021 return for that. But others itself, everything outside the top 10 market cap, and Bitcoin, the top 10 market cap of crypto, I should say, trying to jump up here. Things are looking quite a bit better. They kind of are looking quite a bit better. Jump up there, that area, get up there, and then obviously potential, I hope I'm not boring you guys too much, but potential jumps up, 100%. Look, I mean, I think the average alt, you might be able to get to 1.5 trillion. Average alt does 300%. I think that's definitely possible. Big fib level. Polygon, big area right here. I think you should be able to hold it and hopefully continue forward as of right now. Others versus Bitcoin. This is, others, just versus Bitcoin. I think a lot of these alts can outperform Bitcoin by quite a bit over, the next 6 to 12 months. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this update. Hope you got something out of it. I am pretty bullish at the moment. We'll see what happens. Still, a holiday low trading environment, but I think we may have a bullish week ahead. So smash the like button if you guys are new, subscribe to the channel, and as always, check out the links down below if you guys are interested. All right, guys, have a good one. Goodbye.